I mean, it's fun to follow trends and such, but sometimes you just got to be different. Throw things out, maybe do something about that. I've been embracing AI really hard this week. Um, I'm doing another thing coming up tonight, which is going to explode my marketing on this even more. And you just got to kick stuff out. Don't be afraid to do things. I got to the point where I'm talking to AI probably 6 hours a night. I opened up a couple doors, figured out all I got to do is talk and push a button and talk and push a button and talk and push a button. I got to push a button to have it talk back to me because I don't want it telling me a whole book if I don't need a whole book. So I do have it where I just push the button and it talks in my ear kind of deal. It gives me a really long answer. But that way, I can do it while doing other stuff and get like 6 or 8 hours of AI work done while I do that. But it's really opening stuff I can do, kind of deal. And opening also stuff that I wouldn't even thought about doing. Um, uh, like I'm saying, I got one for sorting right now. I got one for listing generic things, and then I got one for the future to list freight items. Right now, I got all that set up. That's all in the works. And I never would have attempted freight items. I would have just kept doing local pickup and only getting that short area. But if I want to be able to sell some of this stuff and sell it for the price that you get, I need to have a wider audience, and I know that. So I've set up that freight one, and that one took like 12 hours to set that freight one up, but it's set up now. And I went up and down and left to right on that one on how to do it. And right now I'm setting up an advertising one, which I'm doing all this stuff right now manually to YouTube, and that will eliminate some of that and make it so that I can hit different sources in YouTube. I do feel YouTube's the best one because it's free and it's you can search and get pretty much exactly what you want in search, and you don't have to scroll left and right and up and down kind of deal and go through random stuff to get what you're looking for. But that they play around with that, and it's simple and such. But if I can get a wider audience, that will or go through more platforms, not much of a wider audience. If I can get more eyes just peeking, that might move things. And also, I want to do a whole bunch more instructional stuff, and that's really not in line with this. I'm still going to be throwing them on here, instructional, but just my experience of this is how I do this kind of deal, and also stuff like an individual items, showing like on if I grab like a motorcycle carburetor, I'll be able to show them where the numbers are, where the things are, where the ports are, and then if you have a motorcycle and you need this carburetor, you'll at least have some kind of an idea kind of deal. Maybe that'll help somebody out. And then also helping other eBay sellers out with just this is how I do it kind of deal. Little short skits like that. But always be open to new things and always be exploring. Like this whole advertising thing, I'm going to be doing a POV. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of POVs. So I'm going to be doing these one-on-one, showing my face and such. But I want to be able to do a POV for showing like me listing something or me boxing something and all that. Just generic stuff that I'm sure everybody's done one kind of deal, but I might as well just throw my hat into the mix, But I want to do a POV instead of me holding the camera like I am right now and doing this kind of deal where it's all over the place kind of deal. Or doing these things in the morning where I'm basically holding the camera and doing all that. I'll be able to have it. I'm just going to use a hat, a baseball cap, and have the camera on the baseball cap. And that'll give me a POV where I can go around and do all the stuff. And I'm just going to use a USB cable and pretty much have it above my head and me walking around as I list and such. And then when I want to show a skit, I'm going to have it on a foot pedal where I hit the pedal, and that's going to record a little bit. And then from there it's going to go into AI, and I have a lot of stuff that I got to do before I can actually do these things, because there's a lot of the AI side that needs to go into that. It's going to go into a server. It's going to go into an AI, and then that's going to go into a server, and then that's going to kick it out in there and that. And I got a lot of steps to do before it actually happens, but that's something I want to happen at the end of the month. And now we're never even attempted that. Something along those lines was such a pain, and it even opens up the possibility of me maybe doing live stream with Whatnot, giving them my view of the thing, what I'm seeing. I'll actually show them what I'm seeing in the clothing and such, which might kind of be a backfire, but maybe I don't know if I want to do everything live kind of deal, but I can do like where I hit a foot pedal and do a little video and do that POV of what I'm seeing instead of kind of deal right there too. And then potentially I can have that where me tearing apart a motorcycle. And mind you, I'm not fast at this stuff. I'm really not fast. So I don't know if somebody wants to see me tear apart a motorcycle for 2 hours, tear it down to nothing in 2 hours. Okay, whatever. And I'll do a POV through that. So you're just not looking at my back, 90% of the time, because I'm leaning in front of the camera or whatever. You'll actually be able to see me tearing apart the parts, at least what my hands are doing, getting into something and such through a POV. And I don't even know at this point how I would do that in the garage. I'm setting this up currently to do it in the photo room, which is upstairs right now. I'm in the basement. But do it in the photo room and do all this live POV stuff in the photo room of just, maybe if I find something cool and want to comment on something cool, like this is where the markings are on a whatever 1920s dang it, alarm just went off, sorry, on like a 1920s thing. This is where you're looking for the markings on it and such like that, or most likely an MCM decorative place. I'll show you where all the markings are on that and show you issues with that, and I'll be able to also show you like issues of the morning things if there's actually issues. But it'll give them a POV instead of just me holding the phone or the things or such, kind of deal. But that's in the works. That's something I want to have in the month. Anyway, we're getting way off the mark. Always be open to new things, because you never know. And don't worry if it doesn't work out. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Always be willing to try new things and learn new things. You never know. Maybe you're going to be great at like a floral arrangement. Maybe you have somebody that's really into nature, and you decide you're going to maybe this Christmas you're going to decide you're going to make a wreath. Make one instead of buying one for, let's go with $300 because they're crazy expensive. You're going to make one. Kind of deal. So you talk with AI, maybe watch a couple of videos, and you make a wreath for your house, for your door, for your home, for this holiday season. I almost said it, for this holiday season. And you do that kind of dealy. Instead of actually buying one, you make one yourself and you learn how to make one. And something that you probably would have never done. Probably been buying them for 10 or 15 years kind of deal. And you make one this year. That's a skill you learn, and you never would have done it. So, and if you mess it up, oh well, you messed it up. Whatever. You really can't mess it up, because it's something that even if you mess it up, it's your little artwork, your little how you feel it, and what you want. Maybe you want to make a holiday wreath with strawberries in it or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. Fill in the blank. But you do your own thing, and you learn something from it. People changing their oil on their car, highly suggest. Unless you live in a place where it's totally going to become an issue and is totally against whatever's policy, etc. You know what if you're in one of these places, you know what I mean, where they're like, if you get your car up in the air, you might get a couple $100 fine just because your wheels are up in the air, kind of deal. And you can't do maintenance and all that. But if you live in an area where you can do that, then learn. Maybe you can learn how to do your own oil. Maybe you can learn how to do your own brakes or pads. Not digging too deep into it, but like pads and shoes. Maybe you can learn how to do those on a car by asking AI and then watching videos. If you need more explanation, asking AI for the videos, and you learn all that stuff. And you slowly learn. How do you detail a car's interior after your kid decided to squeeze their juice box, something like that. So how do I clean a headliner? And that's a bad example because a headliner is kind of a nightmare. How do I replace a headliner? How about that? How do I replace the headliner? Kind of deal. And you learn a new skill. But always be open to learning new things, and always be learning. Always be learning, because there's nobody that can say, I'm good. I got nothing else to learn. I know everything. No, you don't. No, you don't. So just always be open to learning new things, even if it doesn't work out. I'm saying I'm hooking up a generator tonight. It didn't go great. It took me way too long to hook up the stuff. And at the end, I found out I need another part. I need to do some more electrical testing to find out what part I need. But I'm missing a part in the circuit, so I need to play around. Mind you, the breakers are off, and I'm being 100% code. I'm staying up to code, and I'm also doing everything perfectly how it should be done. And but I'm going through and I'm learning all this stuff. Instead of paying somebody probably $1,000 to do the same thing. And I got to get everything checked out after the fact. But, yeah, so I need to make sure that works before the snow flies, and we get a nice storm this winter and I don't have any power because my current home house generator took a crap. So I bought a cheaper one that is a mobile unit, and I'm just going to plug it in. And what I got is I'm hooking it up to the house through a plug kind of deal. Which is perfectly fine. You can do it if you already had everything in place. Anyway, that's something I'm learning. I'm learning how to do it right now. And I do projects every single weekend. I do a project every single weekend. Almost every single weekend. I've actually been a little bit lazy today. But I do it every single weekend. I learn something, or I do something, or I build something. And it's something that keeps you moving. It keeps you out of trouble. Kind of deal. And it doesn't even have to be that. You don't even have to do either one of those. You can do something where you game. You could do a game and learn stuff in a game. Maybe that's whatever your passion is. Maybe you can play video games. I don't have time to play video games. I don't. And I don't get that. I don't get a ton of enjoyment out of them. Some people love them. I just don't get the enjoyment out of them as much as I used to. So I don't do them anymore, kind of deal. But I do, like cars and all that stuff, But it's whatever the heck fills in the blank. But always be learning. That's getting back to the point. Always be learning. Because if you're always learning, you're always building on you. Despite whatever anybody else thinks, the more skills and the more stuff that you can learn, maybe you do that holiday wreath. And then next year you get a little bit better. And then the year after that you get a little bit better. And then maybe that's your thing. You're the person who makes the holiday wreaths for everybody. And you hand them out on Thanksgiving. I don't know. Whatever. And then everybody has one for that. And then your family members don't have to spend $100 on a holiday wreath. Whatever works for you, kind of deal. But always be learning. Because there's always stuff to learn. Always stuff to learn. And on that too, if you can learn something, maybe you can stay ahead of the curve and either save money or make money using those things. So there you go. Little daily thought of the day, folks. Always be learning. See ya.